This is what I'm feeding my dog to combat his yeast. If you want to learn how to make this, then keep on watching. If you're watching this video, chances are your dog also struggles with yeast like mine does. There are many things that you can do to combat the yeast, and some people just think it's allergies only and they don't realize that it's actually yeast growing in their ears or in their paws, different parts of their body. So you just have to kind of learn how to tackle and combat the allergies and the yeast and just really strengthen their gut, because that's the most important thing. I have adjusted my dog's diet to help combat his yeast, and I just wanted to show you a quick video of what I'm currently adding to his diet and leaving out of his diet, so that way I can hopefully help combat his yeast and his allergies. Now, this may not work for everybody, but hopefully some of the things I say or some of the products I mention might help your dog. But this is just what works for my dog, or will hopefully continue to work for my dog. Now, my dog is allergic to dang near everything. There are so many veggies he's allergic to. He basically can only have like elk and lamb. Sometimes he can have duck. He can't have any salmon, salmon oil, sardines, any type of fish, which is really good for their immune system and for their coat, but he can't have any of that. So I just kind of have to play around and see what works best for my dog. But in this recipe, I am leaving out veggies. I usually feed Duke a mixture of like a puree of steamed spinach, broccoli, just kind of some scrap veggies, and I'm leaving that out. I sometimes also feed him fruit just as like a little midday snack. I don't typically add it to his pre-made food, but I will occasionally feed it to him as a snack, and I am not currently doing that. If you didn't know, yeast loves sugar. I am making sure to leave out any type of carbs, any type of sugar, and any type of starches. So like sweet potatoes and zucchinis, just anything like that I am leaving out. Carbs turn into sugar, and yeast loves sugar. Okay, now let's get into what I am going to feed him. Keep in mind, my dog is 100 pounds, but I am feeding him as if he is 85 pounds. He's had knee surgery, so he can lose a little bit of weight, but I don't want to feed him based off a 100-pound dog. So I am feeding him based off 85 pounds and 2% of his body weight. So first off, I'm going to start with this ground up venison meat I have. I'm going to put 3.7 ounces on this plate. This is something that I will feed him twice a day. So everything that's going in here, he will get twice a day. I typically try to get 80-20 ground beef, but sometimes I can't find that, or it's too expensive, or whatever it might be. So sometimes I may end up going with 85 or maybe even lower. It just kind of depends what I have available. Then I'm going to add 1.8 ounces of green tripe. Green tripe is so good for dogs. It does not smell good, but it is so good for them. And I have never met a dog that does not like green tripe. Next up, I'm going to add 1, maybe 2 duck feet. He needs to get like 2.5 ounces of duck feet, but I don't want to cut the duck feet in half. So sometimes I'll give him like 2 in the morning, 1 at night, or 1 in the morning and 2 at night, or sometimes just 1 in each meal. I typically add in sardines, and sometimes, okay, it is the weirdest thing. Sometimes he can have sardines, but when he is experiencing extreme allergies and yeast problems like he is right now, I just leave it out. So I'm going to leave out the sardines. Next up is the secreting organs, and I do not give him any type of heart. I try to stay away from things that are super fatty, just because he is also known to get pancreatitis. So I'm just going to give him a liver and kidney. And for both of those, I'm going to give him 0.55 ounces of liver and 0.55 ounces of kidney. I usually give him about 0.18 ounces of the veggies, but like I said, I'm going to leave the vegetables out. Next up, I'm going to give him 1 capsule of this zinc. It's 30 milligrams, so I just give this to him once a day instead of twice a day. Then I'm going to add 1 little drop of vitamin E oil. He will get 1 drop in the morning, 1 drop at night. Then next up, I'm also going to add some KELP powder, just a little teeny tiny sprinkle to his food. I usually add a little bit of hemp seed oil to his food, but I feel like he may be allergic to it, so I'm just going to leave that out as well. Next is the part I'm the most excited about. I discovered a company called Adored Beast probably a 1.5 years ago, and I was using their probiotic for Duke to try to help with his yeast and help heal his gut. And then just a couple months ago, I also found Jump for Joints oil. It helps support healthy joints, ligaments, tendons, and muscles. And Duke has had quite a few knee surgeries, So I discovered that they had this as well. I recently bought their Yeasty Beast protocol. So for this protocol, the step 1 is to change their diet. And the step 2 is to add this liver tonic twice a day for 2 days. And he, based off his weight, he will get 1 full dropper twice a day. So I will do that for 2 days, and then I move on to this Yeasty Beast. This is like a spray. It's basically like an oil. Then I will move on to this, and I will also give this twice a day as instructed on the bottle. And on the bottle it just says add 4 pumps to a small amount of food twice per day for up to 14 days, then once per day as needed. When you're starting this, this is like a protocol, so you need to make sure that you do your 2 days, and then like it said, the 14 days, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to put down what day you started what, just so that way you know. And the step 4 is to add this Yeasty Beast 2 powder. So this says to add a small amount of plain unsweetened yogurt, kefir, bone broth, raw milk, or goat's milk, organic if possible, with this. And it says that this should ideally happen 2 hours before or after meals once per day. Duke does not drink things mixed together. I can give him bone broth by itself, but if I put something in it, he will not drink it. So I just have to put it in with his food, even though it says ideally to do it 2 hours before or 2 hours after. And for the bone broth, I actually make the bone broth myself. Store-bought bone broth often has vegetables added to them, which I'm trying to stay away from. So all I do is I put some bones in a crock pot with some water and a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and I let it cook for about 24 hours, and then I have bone broth. So that is what I do for the bone broth. I also am staying away from any type of goat's milk or kefir or anything like that. A lot of people say it really does help with their gut, which I strongly believe, but right now I want to stay away from any type of dairy or anything like that, just because I'm really trying to make sure I take away things that may be triggering him. Then I'm also going to add 1 capsule of this quercetin. So I just give him 1 capsule a day. I open up the capsule and I sprinkle it onto his food. This is really good for allergies, so even humans can use it for their allergies. But it's really good for immune support, so I'm kind of battling both. I need to strengthen his immune system, and I need to help combat his allergies. And then lastly, I'm going to add his canine thyroid support from Standard Process. Duke has very low thyroid, so I add a teaspoon of this to every meal. So he gets 2 teaspoons a day. Okay, now this is the finished product. His meals don't always look this pretty. I usually meal prep them, but for the sake of this video, I just kind of wanted to show you what I put in his everyday meals. I have used Adored Beast products before. I've heard a lot of people say good things about them, and they have really good success with them. So I would highly recommend checking them out if your dog struggles with yeast or joint issues. They have so many things on their website to help your dog. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped give you an idea on how you might be able to help your dog as well. Not everybody can feed a raw diet, but if you can start educating yourself on how to feed a raw diet, how you might be able to help fit it in your budget, because a lot of people say it is expensive. I hope to do a video in the future on how I save money by feeding my dogs a raw diet. And I promise you, feeding them a raw diet is cheaper than taking them to the vet all of the time. So if you like this type of video, give this video a like. Let me know what you'd like to see next, and I hope to see you in the next video.